Hello and welcome everyone to another inventRightTV show. My name is Andrew Kraus. I'm one of the co-founders here, and we have Tony Varda in. He's one of our members, and he has recently licensed a medical product that's pretty damn cool. And he happens to be in the medical business too, right, Tony?
Yeah, for about 12, 14 years now. Yeah, in some fashion.
Okay. So let's talk about how you came up with this idea a little bit, and then we're going to show the product here in a minute. It's pretty cool. It's a unique sling, and you can pull it up. Well, what the hell? Let's throw it up on the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it up on the screen,
Okay.
James, if you could do that, and we'll take a look here. So Tony, why don't you talk a little bit about what you do for a living and how you came up with this idea?
So I actually work in orthopedics. I'm an orthotic fitter, and I help people fit braces on and therapeutic shoes and all that good stuff. So I've been doing anything from braces to cold therapy to CPMs of that nature for a long time.
And you saw people struggling with your job with one particular thing, and you came up with a solution.
Correct. Yeah. I saw a lot of people when I would leave the facilities or their homes, um, having a real hard time putting and applying cold packs and slings on by themselves. And basically, it just got to a point where it broke my heart seeing so many people asking to cancel their orders from their doctors because they could not apply things on by themselves. And that is where struck a chord with me to come up with something that was better than what was on hand in the market.
hmm And what's the key benefit here? You're basically able to do it with one hand. You can remove it with the whole sling with one hand. I don't think any other. I know there's adjustable slings where you can adjust, where it is. They're mostly adjustable, but I
Yeah,
don't think anybody has a one get it on and off with one hand solution.
yeah. So we came up with a locking mechanism that allows you to fasten it and on and off it with just 3 fingers. So it's been great.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it.
why don't you show it to us? Show us the mechanism. That's great.
Yeah. So this is the magnetic lock by Cool Relief, and essentially to don and doff the sling one-handed, you just simply just slide it like so, and it comes off, and you just hover it over it, and it locks on its own, and then you pull the sling, and it tightens and fastens all on its own. It's
How'd you come up with that design?
uh, I was looking for essentially different hook and loop fasteners like Velcro and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I saw that it wears and dries out over time. And I was looking for something else that was more durable and easier to clasp on than having to pull. Because I was working with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
old people and athletes, so it was like half and half. So I was like,
Mm.
great, the young guys got it, but maybe the older people needed something to be more accessible and easy to put on and off. So that's
Nice,
the
nice.
idea for the magnets came into play.
I love we were talking earlier about that you really didn't like to see people struggle with this because it's your job to try to get people set up with the equipment and to make these adjustments and so it's so nice that you invented something to help people and now people can buy it in mass, right? You're
Right.
not
Yeah.
just helping one individual person, although that's amazing, but you're helping a lot of people now. Um, how does that feel?
Honestly,
Or
that
you, I guess it just hit the market. It's on Amazon now. It
yeah,
just hit the market. It's going to be on Walmart pretty
yeah,
soon,
yeah,
like within a week or two.
yeah.
But maybe it hasn't sunk in yet. Maybe I think it just hit Amazon. I think you got 3 reviews so far because it's brand spanking new. And but maybe I need to ask you that in like 6 months from now, and people are writing all these great reviews and stuff.
Right.
You know.
It's an amazing it's an amazing feeling. Honestly, I'm still kind of in disbelief because it was such a journey to get to this point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I take a lot of pride in the fact that it'll help a lot of people because that's where my heart was then a few years ago, and that's where it is now. And I take a lot of pride in that, and I hope it really helps a lot of people being able to put on a sling or a cold pack one-handed. I'm looking forward to making that grow and making that better.
Cool. What were some of the things you were struggling with that we helped you with as a member at InventRight? Like, what are some of the things that you felt like you might have gone the wrong path or the wrong direction, or maybe not been as persistent with our help? Were there things that we did that made a difference that if you're on your own, you might not have gotten done. You were mentioning that to me before.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned, I was on the road a lot half the time, listening to you guys between podcasts and reading Stephen's book. I think I read it like 3 times, and um, especially when it came to just starting to come out with like an idea, wondering if it had any real, feat to it, that it was something worthwhile to pursue. You guys really
Hmm.
helped narrow that down to see if it was something that was viable and there was a market for it. It was like, is it even worth going for? And once I realized that there was a market for it, I mean, you guys gave me the tools and the information that set me up for success to figure out how to do that. Um,
Right, right.
Once I realized that there was an actual opportunity and a need for it, then you guys almost took me by hand unknowingly between your books and your videos and in the course that I took with you guys, the academy at the time, really hand by hand walked me through unknown territory on how to avoid landmines and look for other opportunities when I had failures with other companies when I was
Mm.
approaching. So it's been a pretty roller coaster experience, but it's been nice to use you guys kind of as my North Star to realign me whenever I get off track on something I was doing because I didn't, completely know.
You got to give yourself a lot of credit though with your stick-to-itiveness. There's companies you license to that have licensed a lot of products, and then there's companies that have never licensed a product. And this particular company had never licensed a product, so that made a little bit more work for you. You
Yeah.
need to explain things. They're a little bit slower about it. You had the COVID thing where they were busy doing some other things, I think, or it was just taking longer, and it took quite some time.
Yeah, supply chain issues and sourcing material and coming up with a good, dependable material to make the product work. Yeah, so it's
Was there
been
any point at which you wanted to give up, or were you like, nope, these are my guys, they want the product, I'm going to stick with this?
oh yeah, for sure. Oh, I had my days. I think I've always heard the phrase patience isn't about waiting, it's about how you act while you're waiting. I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times there were days I was productive and proactive and thought I'm going to figure out a solution to make, you know, this process go better or easier. So I just know I had those days where I felt defeated, but overall, I got a spirit of tenacity, and I don't want to quit. And and honestly, I was put around a lot of good people, unbeknownst to me, that kept egging me on to say you can do this. And unbeknownst to you, you guys really helped map out those bridges and those gaps where I came to a dead end. You helped me fill in, whether it was with the PPA or filing. You guys really helped navigate, teach me those things to keep going. Because when I hit those roadblocks, those were the days where I probably did slack off a little. But
Yeah.
you guys are still enthusiastic and informative and educational. It really pushed me to just continue to keep going, to see other people in the same world, in the same realm of inventing and product developing, struggling, but get past those curves and those humps and keep going.
Yeah. You understood it, the struggle was part of the process.
Yeah,
And you just kept pushing. And to know that other people had the same struggle, got through it just like you did, that was helpful, I take it. That's what I hear you saying.
yeah, I became a big fan of rejection. So I always thought, okay, that's one down, one closer to the right one. Because
Yeah.
I think in the span of probably 40 something manufacturers I approached, about 10 prototypes went out. In between that, I got a lot of positive feedback, but essentially I found one that was willing to give me an opportunity, and they've been great so far.
See that? Yeah, you're definitely an InventRight member because you reached out to 40, you got one. Most inventors reach out to two or three. You did the work, you were persistent, you kept moving forward. And I think the company has a great attitude. You literally just went up on Amazon, right?
Yeah,
And you got two people that wrote positive reviews, but they said the instructions weren't that clear. And you're like mentioning that the company, and the company has a great attitude. Hey, we'll be constantly making improvements. Fortunately, modifying the instructions is pretty freaking easy. That's an easy one, right?
yeah,
Um,
but yeah,
but yeah, but the companies, it sounds like they've been great to work with.
yeah.
And
Cool Relief is the manufacturer LLC, and they've been great. The guy I work with, he's an amazing guy. He gave me a great opportunity, and he had a lot of faith in my product and what I had to offer, and he thought it would do good for his business and help some people along the way. So He saw
Yeah.
my passion, and honestly, there's some days we don't even talk about business when we talk. We just talk about our families
Really.
and see how things are going. He's a really good guy, and yeah, so I'm really fortunate.
Sometimes people they think of companies as this faceless giant corporation or whatever, but even if it's a very large company, you're still dealing with a person usually. And so, can you talk about those relationships a little bit? And because sometimes people are like, it's my product, you like it, okay, we're done. Can you talk about fostering a relationship between you as the inventor, the licensor, and then the licensee as the company? That it's not just a company, you're dealing with people.
Right, exactly. I think the thing that makes it so tangible is, we in our conversation, I don't think half the conversations we had, we didn't start off with business at all. We would say, "Hey, how's the family going?" or "How are you doing?" or "How's
Yeah,
your," or "Happy Friday," something of that nature, to kind of
sure.
help break that ice, but build some rapport with each other. To be like, "Hey, we're in the same boat. We're trying to grow where we're at, whether it's my product, your business." But we developed, I think, a really good friendship, and we've always found ways to, if we had a disagreement of some nature, we always found some common ground, and especially in development, to come to an agreement and compromise. I know a lot of people aren't like that, but the manufacturer I work with, he's really down to earth, and he's been in the game for, I don't know, 10, 20 years, and he gave me a chance and an opportunity. And you guys, especially with not having a licensing deal with the manufacturer, never having one before, and having to help kind of guide and walk him through that
Mm-hmm.
way, is honestly, you guys really have the material to help um, manufacturers set them up for success just as well as you do their own students.
Yeah, yeah. Really, you're pro now. You guided a company through it that hasn't done it before. And sometimes it's not easy when a company has done it before because they're kind of set in their ways, and you still need to negotiate. But definitely, I think a company that hasn't done licensing before a little bit harder. Now, what's the advice? So let's say somebody's watching this video, they're an inventor, they've been an inventor for a while, or they're new to inventing, and what's the biggest takeaways you can tell them? What's the mindset stuff you can tell them that they need to be in? Some of the pitfalls, maybe some thought processes you had that weren't right, and then you corrected them in your own mind. Can we help them skip a beat here, skip forward a little bit, and just get them in the right mindset? What's your biggest tips?
my,
Be anything.
my biggest tip is not as bad as it seems in your head. That's so generic, but honestly, I think sometimes the holes aren't as, as deep as you think, and something's probably more fixable than you're thinking that it's going to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you look at pitfalls, and you're like, oh, there's another week, there's another month, there's another day, or and it's like those little walls build up in your head, and you're just like, it's never going to stop. But those are the moments where you got to say, you know what, I can do this. And if I don't know it, I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna find it out, or I'm gonna go ask somebody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
don't ever let um, the attitude of a roadblock discourage you. See it as a way to learn something better to avoid that further down the road.
You don't need to give any other tips. That's the most important tip you could give anybody. What you just said is amazing. There's a book called It's been years since I read it. The Obstacle is the Way.
Oh, I love that.
The obstacle is the way, and that's what you just said, basically. You said, and I think that if people believe that there's not going to be any obstacles and everything's going to go perfectly smooth, they're probably not going to be successful if they're not willing to overcome those obstacles. And and I like what you're saying. You're saying they're not as big as you think. You're making it out to be bigger than it is sometimes, and you can get around them.
And that's the heart of the matter. Is honestly, it's just having faith in yourself more than you think. Even listen,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So we're going to wrap up here. What's your next step? You said you just came up with another idea recently. Is it going to be in the same industry since you're helping people with health
I'm,
issues?
I'm kind of finding my passion going towards products that help people when they're alone. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's kind of where my heart's going into. So
Right.
there's two more products in development, one to go along with my patent. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the future and continuing on venturing into improving what I have, and but at least two more within the next 12 months or so. Um,
Well, and you know, you got it. You reached out to 40 companies. You licensed it to one. If you come up with another product in this space, it could be another type of sling. It could be something else. You've got now 40 companies to reach out to. You know, it could
I
be some other medical device that helps them. Probably not another sling, but another product. And so we always tell folks, and this is a great tip, is when you stay in an industry, you you made relationships by showing them the first one, and now you got all those people built up. Show them the second one was pretty easy. Now you can focus more on inventing and less on making those relationships because you already did it with project number one, and then you're fostering and even improving the relationship with another one. They're like, oh, this guy's always coming with ideas. I don't like these two so far,
right.
but it's good ideas. Didn't waste my time. Didn't ramble. Very professional. Yeah, I'll see unlimited ideas from this guy. You know, so and if you're in this field, just like a construction worker is swinging a hammer or a nail gun or whatever, they know it. And in your field, you know your field. So I think you could jump into other fields, but I think if you stay in this field, it'd be pretty easy because you know it so well and you've already made some relationships. And if you work on second, third, fourth, fifth product, you'll know all these people. And then you can do what inventors love to do, which is invent more. And
Right.
you put the time in for the outreach. You made the relationships.
Yeah, that's so true. And don't ever, yeah. I honestly, you're right. Yeah, I've laid some lasting relationships where I know if I called them up, we could just talk and hang out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see your wheels turning. You're like, yeah, Andrew, I like that.
people are a lot more relatable in higher positions than what you think sometimes, you know? So they really are.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Definitely,
be
definitely.
transparent, you know?
Well, Tony, it was great talking to you. Congratulations. We're going to put the link down in the description. I'm going to put it right at the beginning so people can go and they can buy it. Um, at this moment, at this moment, which is Friday, November 10th, it's going to be a couple days before this gets out because we have the weekend. It's showing a 40% off coupon, which is I never see 40% off. I'll see 5 or 10, maybe 20. So I don't know if you guys are watching this video a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and it's not there. Don't call Andrew. Say where's the 40% coupon? But if it's still up there, and even if it's not, it's $29.99. That's a freaking deal
Yeah,
for a product, and it's in the same price range as other products that don't have this cool feature.
yeah,
You know, so maybe I think it's something that you have in your first aid kit, a sling. It's a
yeah,
great thing. So I'm trying to help you here, Tony, and pitch it a bit. You guys don't need to have a messed up arm right now. You could put it in your first aid kit. Go ahead, help Tony out. And I don't know how long that 40% coupon is going to be up because that's crazy. Maybe they're trying to get things going.
yeah.
Um, take advantage of that. Buy it.
There is a strategy.
Support support your fellow inventor. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Tony, thank you so much. If you ever need anything, reach out to me, and we'll always be here for you, man.
I appreciate it. You always have. Thank you.
All right. All right. Take care, everybody. Keep inventing, and we'll catch up with you next time. See ya.
Yeah.